I always believed in solving problems. That's what engineers do. At Vulcan Systems, I designed a compact energy cell that could cut power costs by 60%. It was clean, efficient, and portable. My prototype wasn't perfect, but it worked. I shared it with my manager, Mr. Rob, hoping he'd see the vision. He laughed. This is science fair junk, he said. Stick to your reports, Sharon. The worst part? He mocked me in front of the entire team. I stood there, heart pounding, cheeks burning. My coworker and friend, Kim Brooks, shot me a look of sympathy. But Mr. Rob made it clear. I'd never be anything more than just another name on the payroll. A week later, he started cutting my responsibilities. Important meetings? I wasn't invited. Lab access? Suddenly restricted. My office? Moved to the basement near the supply room. I wasn't just ignored. I was being pushed out. Still, I believed in my idea. Quietly, I worked on it at night. Polishing. Testing. Perfecting. They wanted to bury me. But I wasn't done. This wasn't just about a patent anymore. It was about proving that they underestimated the wrong woman. Mr. Rob made my days miserable. I was locked out of systems I built. My designs were reassigned to junior engineers. He claimed I was no longer aligned with company goals. I wanted to scream. Kim Brooks, the only one still kind to me, whispered. He's threatened by you. That patent scares him. But it wasn't even a patent yet. Just blueprints and tests. I hadn't filed anything, because I trusted Vulcan would handle it. Now, I realized they never intended to. Then came the final blow. I was demoted. Officially. My title stripped, my pay cut. Mr. Rob smiled as HR handed me the notice. Consider this a fresh start. I walked out, tears burning in my eyes. But behind those tears, something cold began to form. Resolve. They pushed me down, hoping I'd vanish. Instead, they handed me a reason to rise. If you like our revenge stories, please subscribe for more. We drop powerful news stories every week, filled with truth, emotion, and justice. Don't miss the next one. And remember, some stories hurt, but they heal too. Subscribe now and join the journey. I didn't quit, not yet. I packed my desk slowly. Every drawing, every note, I took it all. My name was on every diagram. I had proof, timestamps, emails, and more. Kim helped me gather them. You're smarter than this place, Sharon. Don't let them bury your work. That night, I called a lawyer. Joanna Lane. She reviewed my material and said 9 powerful words. You have something valuable. Don't let them steal it. We started the patent filing immediately. Vulcan had never registered it. I beat them to it. Silently. Then I walked into Mr. Rob's office and shook his hand. Thank you for everything, I said. He smirked, clueless. My silence wasn't weakness. It was the calm before the storm. Weeks passed. I worked in my garage tweaking the design. No salary, no team, just grit. Then one email changed everything. Devin Royce, CEO of a rising tech firm. He'd heard whispers of my design. Can we meet? I'm intrigued. We met in a cafe. I showed him the prototype, the specs, and the patent in progress. He didn't laugh. He leaned forward and said, Vulcan made a mistake. Let's talk partnership. It was the first time someone saw me, not just my invention. Devin offered resources, labs, and equity. I'd stay the inventor, the leader. No backrooms. No ceilings. I signed the deal that week. Vulcan discarded me. Devin empowered me. Now it was time to build. We called it Phoenix Labs, because I was rising from ashes. Devin gave me a full team. Engineers who respected me. Kim joined too. She resigned from Vulcan without a second thought. Together, we pushed the tech forward. Within 6 months, the prototype became a market-ready product. Compact. Safe. Efficient. The energy cell worked beyond expectation. I named it Pulse One. We filed the final patent under my name. My name, not Vulcan's. Meanwhile, Vulcan was busy trying to copy old blueprints I'd left behind. But the tech had evolved. They were chasing ghosts. We launched a teaser campaign. Just a silhouette. A date. And one line. Revolution is coming. Vulcan didn't know yet. But I was back. Tech blog exploded. Pulse One was the headline. A power source that could change homes, vehicles, even portable medical units. Williams Cole, a respected tech journalist, requested an interview. I agreed. We met in a quiet studio. I told him everything, without bitterness. Just truth. He asked, "Do you have a message for Vulcan?" I smiled. No message. Just results. The article went viral. The engineer they laughed at may have just outsmarted an industry giant. Vulcan's board called an emergency meeting. Mr. Rob blamed everyone but himself. Too late. The world now knew my name. And they were watching. Inside Vulcan, chaos erupted. Clients began calling, curious about Pulse One. Some canceled contracts. Others demanded upgrades. Tech Vulcan couldn't provide. Mr. Rob was furious. He tried to discredit me publicly, saying I stole company property. But Joanna Lane was ready. We released the patent history, showing clear ownership. Emails. Drafts. Timestamps. Even his mocking messages. Vulcan's legal team backed off. Mr. Rob's tantrum made headlines. Manager who laughed now under fire for pushing out inventor. He tried to survive it. But shareholders were watching. And shareholders hate embarrassment. Mr. Johnson, Vulcan board member, reached out. He asked for a meeting. We met in a neutral office downtown. He looked exhausted. Sharon, I was wrong. We were wrong. We want to make this right. Too late. I was calm. You don't need me anymore. I built elsewhere. Good luck. He handed me a proposal. Acquire Phoenix Labs. I laughed this time. We're not for sale. The next day, I posted a short clip on social media. To every woman ever told she's too ambitious. Don't wait for their seat. Build your own table. The video went viral. And so did Pulse One's pre-orders. If you like our revenge stories, please subscribe for more. We drop powerful news stories every week, filled with truth, emotion, and justice. Don't miss the next one. And remember, some stories hurt, but they heal too. Subscribe now, and join the journey. We held our launch in Silicon Valley. Hundreds showed up. Investors, engineers, journalists. The air buzzed with energy. I walked on stage. Confident. Proud. I demoed Pulse One. It powered an entire demo house live. Lights, heater, fridge, everything. No wires. No noise. No pollution. The crowd stood and clapped. Afterward, Williams Cole said, "You just changed the game." Vulcan tried to downplay it. But the stock market disagreed. Vulcan's shares dropped 14% that day. Phoenix Labs? We had 200,000 pre-orders in 48 hours. Mr. Rob? Silent. I wasn't just back. I was winning. Weeks later, headlines confirmed it. Vulcan manager Rob terminated after internal investigation. Apparently, his toxic behavior didn't stop with me. Others came forward. HR files piled up. Vulcan made him the scapegoat. Fired. Disgraced. Kim sent me the article with a wink emoji. I didn't feel joy. Just closure. He tried to erase me. Instead, he erased himself. I took a breath and returned to work. The real victory wasn't his downfall. It was our rise. Phoenix Labs had become a symbol for every undervalued mind, every ignored voice. We weren't done. We were just beginning. One rainy evening, I got a call from a private number. Sharon Wills? This is Devin Royce, CEO of Reventech. I paused. Yes. I heard about your work. A friend at the patent office tipped me off. Can we meet? I agreed. We met at a small cafe. Devin was smart, calm, and curious. I showed him my updated prototype. He smiled. This could change portable energy forever. I held my breath. Mr. Rob and Vulcan said it was junk. He shook his head. That's their mistake. I want to help you bring it to life. Let's talk business. I was stunned. After all the rejection, someone finally believed in me. I called Kim that night. Guess who just offered me a deal? She gasped. Are you serious? I nodded, smiling through tears. I wasn't just going to fight back. I was going to rise higher than they ever expected. Mr. Rob had buried me. But Devin just handed me a shovel, so I could dig my way out and stand on top. Devin brought in a lawyer named Joanna Lane. She was sharp and straight to the point. This patent is strong, Sharon. But you'll need to protect yourself. Vulcan might come after you. We worked on a licensing deal that gave me full credit, a controlling stake, and massive royalties. Devin's team loved it. They even suggested a new brand name, Will's Core Energy. It felt unreal. A few days later, I read a headline. Reventech partners with breakthrough engineer for next-gen energy tech. Mr. Rob saw it too. I know because he emailed me at midnight. We need to talk. I didn't respond. The man who mocked me was now sweating. Vulcan Systems tried to schedule a board meeting to reevaluate their past decisions. Mr. Johnson, a board member who once nodded while I was pushed aside, was now trying to contact me. Too late. They had their chance and they threw it away. Kim sent me a picture of Mr. Rob standing awkwardly at a meeting, papers in hand, clearly panicked. Guess who's in trouble now? She texted. I smiled. This time I was no one's assistant. I was the reason they'd all regret laughing. Weeks later, the first paycheck hit my account. It wasn't just big. It was life-changing. I stared at the numbers, my mouth open. The royalties from licensing alone were more than I ever made in 5 years at Vulcan. I treated Kim to dinner at a fancy rooftop restaurant. You earned every penny, she said. Mr. Rob is shaking. I chuckled. He should be. My phone buzzed. Another offer. From an international energy firm. They wanted to license the tech, too. Joanna helped review every line of every deal. We weren't just building a business. We were building an empire. And all from an idea they called junk. I still remembered Mr. Rob's voice, loud, smug, and cold. Now I was louder. Without raising my voice. Each time the news published another story on Will's Core Energy, I imagined him reading it, steam rising from his ears. This wasn't revenge by shouting. It was revenge by success. The kind they couldn't delete or undo. And soon everyone would know my name. At Vulcan's next board meeting, Mr. Johnson confronted Mr. Rob. How did we lose her? She left, Rob muttered. No warning. She tried to show us this exact tech. We laughed her off. The room went silent. Shareholders were angry. Competitors were calling. Journalists were digging into internal emails. Someone leaked one where Rob called my idea childish trash. That email went viral. Joanna sent it to me with a wink emoji. Look what's trending. Devin laughed when he saw it. You didn't even have to lift a finger. I smiled. They did it to themselves. Kim told me Vulcan stock was dropping. Investors were asking tough questions. What else have they missed? Who else did they ignore? Meanwhile, I launched a mini scholarship for young inventors, especially girls in tech. It wasn't just about beating Vulcan anymore. It was about lifting others up the way no one lifted me. And every headline that praised Will's Core? It wasn't just success. It was a message. You tried to bury me. But I was a seed. And now I was blooming in public. Vulcan couldn't take the heat. They released a public apology. We regret not recognizing the innovation presented by Sharon Wills and wish her success. It was weak. Too polished. Too late. The internet didn't buy it. Isn't this the company that laughed at her? One user shared a clip of Mr. Rob dismissing my work in a conference panel. Not everything an engineer makes is useful, he had said smugly. It was now meme material. I didn't respond. Silence was louder than words. Kim said, "You broke the internet just by existing." I laughed. By working hard. And not giving up. The patent deal was expanding. 3 new companies reached out. Joanna handled it all like a boss. I stood in front of my whiteboard sketching ideas for version 2. Kim walked in and said, "Sharon, Vulcan just announced Mr. Rob is stepping down." My heart thumped. "He resigned under pressure," she added. "He's gone." I sat quietly for a second, then whispered, "Good. No press conference.
No gloating.
Just quiet power." I didn't want revenge. I wanted results. And I got both. The press conference went viral. Williams Cole, the respected journalist, featured me in a full-page article titled, From basement to boardroom. Sharon Will's sweet revenge. Mr. Rob's face was priceless when cameras caught him walking out of Vulcan Systems headquarters in shame. I didn't even need to say a word. The world saw the truth now. They didn't just fire the wrong person. They humiliated her, and she came back with power, poise, and proof. Vulcan's board held an emergency meeting. Mr. Johnson, the same board member who once nodded while they pushed me out, was now defending me. We made a mistake, he admitted in front of reporters. That was the real satisfaction. Not money, not fame, but the truth. Loud, clear, public. The same people who laughed now watched in silence. Devin Royce offered me more than just a contract. He gave me control. You lead development, patents stay under your name, and profits are split. Fair, fair. It was better than fair. Kim Brooks joined me as my second-in-command. Joanna Lane became our official legal counsel. We set up our company, Wills Tech Energy, and brought in top engineers, many who left Vulcan. Within 3 months, we had orders from 3 major cities and 2 military bases. Mr. Rob tried to start his own firm, but no investor would touch him now. His name meant failure. My name meant results. The woman he mocked now had a patent making headlines across the world. It wasn't revenge anymore. It was legacy. One evening, I got a message request. From Mr. Rob. Subject: sincere apology. First I ignored it, but curiosity won. He wrote a long letter about how he was under pressure, how he didn't recognize my talent, and how sorry he was for pushing me out. I wish I had supported you. I see that now. It didn't move me. Didn't hurt me either. Because I had already moved on. Apologies are nice, but action is louder. And the only action I needed was watching my company succeed every single day without him. Still I replied politely. Thank you. I hope you find peace. I already did. And that was it. Closure. Not loud. Not cruel. Just final. We launched our first large-scale model in New York City. A live demo showed a full apartment complex running off one of our compact energy cells for 48 hours straight. Reporters, engineers, and city officials watched in awe. We're witnessing the future, one journalist said. Devin smiled at me from the side. Kim gave me a proud thumbs up. My hands were shaking, but not from fear. From joy. Years of doubt, dismissal, and disrespect had turned into this moment. The patent Mr. Rob laughed at? Now being adopted in hospitals, schools, and emergency services across the country. That night I stood on a rooftop with Kim, watching the city lights. You did it, she whispered. No, I said. We did it. 6 months after our launch, Vulcan Systems filed for bankruptcy. Turns out, without the engineers they pushed out and the innovation they ignored, they couldn't survive. Their stock dropped to pennies. Their offices emptied. Their name? Forgotten. But mine? Wills Tech became a leader in green energy. Mr. Johnson tried reaching out to partner. We politely declined. As for Mr. Rob, last I heard, he was managing a tech store kiosk. Selling gadgets. Not creating them. The same man who once said, stick to your reports, now scan barcodes. It wasn't revenge by force. I didn't destroy Vulcan. They did it to themselves. All I did was win. Silently. Completely. The National Engineering Society invited me to speak. I stood on the same stage I had once dreamed about, wearing a navy blue suit and holding my award for innovation in sustainable tech. They introduced me as Sharon Wills, CEO, inventor, game changer. I looked out into the crowd. Young women, inventors, engineers, dreamers. My message is simple, I said. Don't wait for others to believe in your idea. Believe in it yourself. And when they push you out, build your own door. The applause was thunderous. No one saw Mr. Rob in that room. But they saw me. The woman they underestimated. The engineer they laughed at. The leader they now applauded. Kim and I started a mentorship program for young women in tech. We called it the Mock to Makers Initiative. We funded scholarships, hosted workshops, and taught girls how to build real products, not just ideas. Joanna Lane taught them how to protect their work legally. Devin funded startups. Williams Cole featured their stories in a special series called The Next Sharons. We didn't just build a company. We built a movement. And I saw it happen, one girl, one prototype, one breakthrough at a time. The world was changing. And this time, no one would laugh them out of the room. Not while we were here. Not on our watch. A year later, I walked past my old office building at Velkin. It was empty. Windows boarded. Logo faded. I stood there, not to gloat, but to reflect. This was the place they tried to break me. But this was also the place where the fire started. I pulled out my phone and took a photo, not of the building, but of the sky above it. Then I turned away. I had a keynote to give in Silicon Valley, a production facility to open in Texas, and an interview scheduled with Forbes. That building? It was part of my story. But I had outgrown it. They wanted me small. But I was built for more. I used to dream of recognition. Now people stopped me on the street. Are you Sharon Wills? You're the one who created that power cell, right? You're the woman who beat Velkin. I smiled. Not for fame, but because it meant one thing. My story gave others hope. Hope that failure isn't final. Hope that dismissal isn't the end. Hope that your biggest pain can become your greatest push forward. When people say my name now, it's not with pity. It's with pride. Because the woman who once sat alone in a basement lab now leads one of the fastest growing companies in the world. All because I didn't quit. To anyone who's been laughed at. To anyone who's been pushed out. To every girl in a lab who was told her ideas were too big. Don't stop. Let them doubt you. Let them dismiss you. Then prove them wrong quietly. Thoroughly. Brilliantly. I was Sharon Wills, the ignored engineer. Now I am Sharon Wills, the name behind a global innovation. Not because I fought loud, but because I built strong. Because I turned pain into progress. And because when they closed there,